best way to start. Good evening. Let's get a couple things sorted out. Let's just wait a little bit for people to potentially show up. And then we'll get started. It's been a day. Hey. How's it going? Hopefully you can hear me. Not using my standard stream settings, so good. I'm in an odd place. I'm glad the week is over. Let's put it that way. Definitely glad the week is over. I don't have to do anything now for a bit. A bit tired though. See how we do. I need to check something real quick. There's got a bit of music I can play real quick. No, not that. Come on, brain. I just need to know whether or not you can hear the music that's about to play or not. This could be really loud, sorry. Spying on my things, eh? That's not playing for me now. Sorry, I need to fix my audio. I can now hear that. But it's not showing it here. So, no, that would just kill. Ah, I see. Yeah, I got into Elsa's channel because I was originally making a game about camping. I mean, I'm going to show it to you. So I was making a game, or hoping to make a game about like camping, survival, being outdoors. And it served as good inspiration. I've totally forgotten how to make this work. Okay, maybe now. That's better. Okay, so you should be able to hear the music, right? And hopefully you can hear me as well. Cool. And you should be able to hear me over the music without me having to strain too much to talk. Fantastic. I've not done that for a little bit. I have all the settings and stuff, just don't do it often. I'll get that open now. Close these. Right. So we've got 7 entries for this year. Well, I probably should tweet and let people know on my Twitter that I'm streaming as well. Seriously, trying to be like your own marketing person is terrible. There we go. Obligatory indicative hashtags. There we go. Marketing is hard. Marketing is hard. All right. Okay. I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes, let that sink through. I never really know when to start, like, doing stuff. I mean, the problem is my channel is not high traffic. People aren't necessarily waiting for me to go live to do stuff. So I sort of don't want to start too early, because then everyone sort of arrives and is asking, what are you doing, and whatever, rather than seeing it sort of happen. But at the same time, I could sit here for like 20 minutes and no one will show up. So still figuring myself out. Yeah, for sure. For sure. If I play something, someone will show up. I can play my game anyway. So I started the DOMEJAM around about the same time as the Nokia 3310 jam, with the like pre-planned intention of making a camping game. So we ended up with Midori Camping. The problem with Midori Camping is that I didn't actually get a chance to work on it at all during the week. So I sort of got the basic engine together. So it's a world, you can move around. You can bump into the fire and it makes a noise, because you shouldn't bump into the fire. And you can bump into the tent. And you can go inside the tent, which has nothing in it. And that's about as far as I got. But the hope was to make it kind of like Stardew Valley for a camping game. So you'd have to go out in the day, go get food, come back, and do stuff, and time would pass, and it'd invert and be nighttime at some point, and then you'd wake up again for the daytime, and eventually you'd like be able to pick up and move the tent and travel. Really, that was the thing. I wanted to be able to go somewhere, because it's one of those things. Yeah, it's this is the thing. It's not complete, but the problem is, because I submitted it for the Nokia Jam first, they locked the submissions. So if I made any changes, I couldn't upload them. So I kind of lost the drive at that point to do anything, because I can't show anybody. Like, I didn't even know that you could do this for a game jam, but apparently you can just lock the submissions for a period if you're doing judging and whatever. Which is fine unless you're trying to enter something into multiple jams, I suppose. Which is the thing I was doing. So it's more of a tech demo. The hope is to have like more graphics and events that could happen during the day. There'd be UI on the left-hand side down here for like the currently selected tool. I have like this whole Like, I actually wrote up a game design document for the first time in my life to try and do it. I knew vaguely what I was going to try and work on each day and the general mechanics, and then the week came and I could not actually do it at all. I had other stuff to do. So this is what we got. I can walk into a tent and back. I mean, this is actually really nice though, because it's the overall structure and framework for this game is something I want to reuse. I'm probably going to bundle it up so that I can just start projects with it in the future. You can make like a little RPG with it in a really basic sense. I mean, the scrolling is a bit odd. It's not too bad now, but I found that when I started it up, it would stutter, which is not great. So I'm not sure what's up with that. But yeah. But I love the like low resolution game jams where you have these sorts of restrictions to deal with. It's the kind of thing that Dome was actually made for, to some degree. So it's a good excuse to advertise it as well, which is nice. But also it just lined up really well because this particular jam was happening at the same time as DOMEJAM was going to be. So I thought as well. And then the noises are being synthesized by a plugin. Exactly. Restrictions maximize or encourage creativity. But yeah, I basically built the whole of Dome's plugin system over the last month specifically for this game so that I could do this. And it would synthesize sounds for us. That was the core motivation for me to do this. And I've been putting it off for a year and a half or something. No, like 3 months, maybe. I didn't want to do plugins for a while. But exactly, it goes buzz. This synth can actually do quite a lot. It's quite powerful, but I've got it set really, really simply at the moment just to do that. Hey, Chaos Tycoon. I swear though, the first like 50 times I saw your username, I thought it was like Coasty Coon, and yeah, Coasty. I don't even know what that would mean. Like living by the coast. But it kind of clicked a couple of days ago. Oh, it's Chaos Tycoon. That makes more sense. I know, right? It's something about the layout and structure of the words smushed together. They just there's no separator between them. I'm glad it's not just me. All right. So yeah, this is Midori camping. It's not complete in any way, but some people said that they'd like to just sort of sit here by the fire for a bit, and that was kind of nice. So maybe I'll go back to it. I might upgrade the aesthetic very slightly to add a few extra colors, but you know, I kind of like the green thing. So that was that one. What next? Any preferences? We had 7 entries to the DOMEJAM that I ran last year. And again, as was this year, I did enter twice. So it's really 6 people. But still, I think that's pretty good for a little known engine. Getting 6 people to actually submit something, that's a pretty good bar. That's a good call. Let's do that. I've not played this game yet. I don't know anything about most of these, so some potions. I should probably read what we're supposed to do. That's a good idea. Actually, a mashup of Zoo Tycoon and Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate. Wow. I like the idea of your dad being invested enough to make up a screen name for you. That's fantastic. Okay, save oceans. One of the nowadays problems in our society is the generation of tons of plastic that all ends in our oceans. In this game, I want to do one's bit for the minimization of plastic waste. Hitting the theme. Hitting the theme. To do this, you will control a boat that its aim is to recover all the waste that we have thrown into the sea. Click on each cell to uncover the fog and see that there is behind it. If you make a mistake, the time decreases, and if time decreases, the plastic will go to the bottom of the ocean, so hurry up. Nice. Alright. Oh my god. That's actually really nice looking. I'm just going to say it for the moment, just a bit. What are the controls? I have no idea. Let's find out. Might just be mouse based. Okay. I'm so impressed at the production quality. Wow. Okay. So click stuff. Okay, so I seem to be acquiring some kind of thing, so I can like ping. That's neat. I mean, I'm blown away by the quality of the graphics, and the polish is amazing for me. Damn. Like, yeah. Right, so I guess, okay, so I kind of, it would kind of, I don't know what it's flashing up exactly. Yeah, it sounds cool as well. I could probably listen to this for a little while longer. I'm not entirely sure if there's any deeper mechanics. I feel like if the point is to click this every round to figure out where to go, it should just sort of do it. Like, assuming that you're ready. But I like it. Very nice. Minimal, but, well, minimal in mechanics, minimal in theme. In message, I suppose. I approve. Very cool. Bravo. That was good. Oh, now for something significantly less polished. So, if you were watching the stream on Wednesday, you'll know that I basically decided to scrap working on Midori camping and make something really quick separately that I could submit to the jam, which is why we have a routine. Now, admittedly, I'm not in the happiest place, so this game does not have a happy message, but in the life of a person in minimal snapshots. What's the point? So, I also forgot to put sound in, so meh. So you get woken up at 7 in the morning, and you get a couple choices. Get up or sleep longer. If it's like how I was this morning, I slept longer. Slept in, stumbled to the bathroom. No one will notice. It's fine. I wish I had pancakes. Yeah, I just was in a bit of a mood. And so I thought I needed something actually simple enough that I could produce in the, what was it, like 3 hours plus another 3 that I did of actually creating these scenes yesterday, using very minimal amount of work, minimal amount of set dressing. Obviously, while working, there's only one thing you can really do, which is work. And I achieved nothing. And today I had a warm lunch, so we'll go with that. Exactly. Back to work. Still achieved nothing. Today I cooked dinner. Very good. It was very good. It didn't take a while, though, hence why I was late. We're doing hobby stuff. Hooray! And then you get to ask if you're doing a new day or if you're stopping. And if you did stop, it would, well, if you were to continue for a new day, it's the same. It's exactly this, well, pretty much exactly the same, because that is the routine. So you can play through for as long as you like, picking choices that ultimately don't matter. You see? That was the message. Minimal gameplay and minimal point. It's fine, because we can stop here. Yeah, I know, right? As I said, I was not in a happy place. I wanted, I suppose, like something to look back on from this whole world experience that captures the moment in a way. And I think that I caught that. But ow. To even show it to people is ow. Not sure about that. But technically, I'm impressed with how quickly it came together. So, yeah. And it was fun to do with people watching, so there's that. That is routine. It's more of an arty interactive fiction thing than a real game with a win condition. But I had this thought in my head. Yeah, feel free. There is like, I mean, I wouldn't mind going back to it and just tweaking a couple of things, so that like there are little bits of variety in there, which again ultimately don't matter, but there is change a little bit. I would like to exaggerate that slightly more, but yeah. Right. I had one other thing I wanted to say. So that's a picture. I used all of the graphics come from a single tile map of one bit. I love this tile map. Oh, this map pack of things. It's just a public domain set of tiles for making top-down RPGs, and there's some platformer pieces in here, and all sorts. So I literally just picked out of this for each of those scenes. Yeah, Kenny is good. Kenny is good. Midori Camping also uses these tiles, and also the other. There's a 8x8 roguelike set that I'm also borrowing bits from, although I was also modifying them. But it just, I love the aesthetic so much. So, yeah. I remember what I wanted to say. So there was a quote that I heard somebody say that a video game is a series of meaningful choices, and I wanted to play with that concept in some way, so I did it. And ow. Let's do something that's hopefully more interesting. I haven't heard whatever song you're probably thinking of, so I would be curious to know if there is a particular song in mind, or just any, because I don't know. So this is Chaos Tycoons Rockfall. Rockfall is a game of skill and luck where you are a stone which has been knocked off the side of a mountain by a mountain climber. You need to dodge the incoming rocks to avoid causing a rockfall and causing damage to whatever is at the bottom. Your job is to cause as little damage at the bottom as possible. I wouldn't feel bad about trying to be too ambitious because everyone is at least once when it comes to making games. So. Oh, this is actually quite intense. Oof. Is there like yeah, probably. Oh dear. I guess you can just do that. Oh well, I mean, even if I'm sat here like playing as if I shouldn't be hitting them, it's quite challenging. Yeah, I would be interested. Ooh. Thank you for playing the demo of Rockfall, coming soon. Ah, I see. You might want to have the score visible somewhere. Maybe in red when it like you could have like a bit of screen shake when you hit a rock, so it's like like a bad thing. Maybe flash a bit of red on there and be like, no, this is a bad thing, don't do it. So right, so you kind of like you dodge them so that you don't hit more. I like that it sort of slides you back upwards though. That's kind of cool. Yeah, there's probably something weird going on there. I'm sure we could debug it though. You're probably just not updating a value, or you're sharing a value that you shouldn't be or something. It's all good. It's neat though. In some ways I kind of like that they're in a line, but it does sort of make it a lot easier. 49, that's pretty good. Very cool though. I hope that you carry on. See if you can get it sort of into a slightly more playable space. Because that was fun. You probably want like a little message at the start to be like press space to start or something, just that you're not just thrown straight into the rush of it. But I liked it. Oh, so that was Rockfall. Next is a stretch. I have actually played through this, but I'm going to play through it again for you all. I sort of rushed through it the first time, but this was the game that I actually just tested the web build of Dome on initially. I'm amazed how quickly this came out, though, because Sebastian is fast. I mean, Sebastian's also been using Dome for a year, so I'm not surprised. But damn, it took him a day. So, yeah. I was impressed. Stretch. And it's got full music and sound, though it's a bit quiet, so I don't know if you can really hear it. Yeah, it's sort of it. How about now? It fades in real slow, so the main mechanic of this game is that you can stretch, but you can't get that little blob. And you kind of stretch in different directions. But I can get this one. But now I'm taller, you see. And I thought it was just such a clever idea. So if I do this, I can get to there, but I can't go any further. So we have to go back. It's just so simple, but it works really well. Broken mess. You fall. We fell. I can't quite reach that one. Nope. In a way, yeah, it does have that feel to it, because you have to sort of pay attention while you're stretching. We ran. It's got this very eerie, mystical kind of feel about it. Leave us be. So that brown blob, I think, added like 5 or so to our stretch length. We made an error. Like, in theory, we can stretch the whole way up this screen, up to here, but not quite to the edge. So we have to get one more. So maybe more like 10, 12. I don't know if I should play through this all the way through to the end, or if people want to play it themselves, but I can actually come back and say blame us. Oh, well, that's quite sad, actually. There's probably another couple of screens after this. It's not very long. To be honest, I've shown you like 95% maybe 90% of the whole thing. But it's nice, so. There are some games that are more replayable and some that you show them off once and that's kind of it. So I don't know if I want to deprive you all of the ability of going to play this yourselves. I should have said at the start this will be a spoilerific stream or something. I think I'll leave it as a mystery. You guys should go play it. It's good. Alright. So that was a stretch. This. Cool. Yeah. This is Skyform, which I can only think of Skyfall, the James Bond film, but simple platformer. Use WASD or arrow keys to move around and E to shoot bullets. Use the spacebar to pause and unpause the game. That's nifty. It's really interesting to see what people consider when the word minimal is presented. Okay, so you move in the direction that you last. A zip file would probably make it a bit easier. What do you mean? Oh, I suppose so. That's true. Not all of the games are well arranged for distribution at this point. But oh, that was interesting. Oh, it quits the game when you die, I guess. It's really hard to do the jump, actually. I kind of like it though. It's interesting. Doop. I mean, it runs quite well for simple stuff at low resolutions. The frame rate can hit a pretty consistent 58 FPS. Based on my measurements anyway. I've made a few games that did not manage that, and I had to do various things to make that make it at all playable, but The fact that it kills the whole game is quite annoying, actually. I'd have preferred something extra. Yeah, so if you there are certain things where if the resolution of the canvas is larger, then you have to draw more pixels, which slows down everything. So at the end of last year, I was making a raycasting first-person shooter, and that means that every individual pixel has to be rendered separately based on its position, based on your position in the world. So if you made a really small window, it would be a lot faster than a really big window because you don't have to scan across every single pixel. So it depends on what you're doing. Grid-based, sprite-based type stuff, if you're clever, stays pretty zippy. Although putting some of that into the web build does not work, so still working it out. But it behaves. Enough that I can ship stuff at least. Yeah. There's no real difference between, well, there's no processing required between the screen window, the window, and the canvas. They're distinct, so and independent. So as far as DOME and SDL is concerned, there's no thing here that matters. They're just for convenience. So this can be as large as you like, and it has no problem. It's just that if you had a larger density of pixels and you try and draw lots of things, lots of lines, lots of dots, the round tripping for that is quite heavy in the end. I don't understand why there are blocks. So I suppose that the SDL window would be drawing a 256 by 256 thing, like the pixel space on the screen would be that, but the canvas is still only 16 by 16 and it sort of handles it in the background for you, so you don't ever really worry about it. Like, your resolution that your game cares about is always the canvas. The window is purely for the user to size as they want. Which is because of that thing where you're doing low resolution jams, but you want to play on a big screen. Ah, that's so annoying. No, I'm done. I need to move on. Like, yeah, I don't really know how to portray that better. It's just like there's no extra work that Dome itself is doing to draw a larger window, unless the canvas is also getting larger. SDL might be doing more work, I suppose, to render it right, but yeah. Now that platform was too much for me. Yeah, I guess so. Because it it auto sizes the viewport to fit the window that it's in with the right scale. But your game retains the native resolution of the canvas you set, which means that you can play a small canvas game on a large screen and it not have any problems. But I've not really done any real performance testing, so I don't know if it's a huge impact. Yeah, I don't think it does though. Okay, that was Skyfall. Yeah, I say to people, because everyone gets this wrong, don't change the window size, and like don't you shouldn't care about the window size. It's the canvas size that you're probably wanting. First thing everyone does is they go in, they see that there's a window object, and they size the window object, and then nothing changes, because that's not the thing that matters. It's purely for how it's presented on screen. Apart from this next game, because Camillo decided to do something interesting. No description though. That's interesting. Yep, exactly. The canvas size is what your game actually renders to. The window size is the system window size. I guess it's counting how many times it takes for me to adjust the window to be the right size. That's harder to do if it snaps. Oh. Very creative, but also really hard because Dome can't redraw while you're moving the window on most operating systems. And the there we go. Because the window manager is like snapping the window to where it is, I have to drag it quite far before I can make any changes. Pixel precision is really hard. I know, right? Hey, we got it. There we go. That was way harder than it should be. Oh, wow. I don't know actually if it can keep up on Windows and repaint, but for OS X on Mac, you see it does the squashing and stretching, and then redraws once you let go. And there's nothing I can do about that. It's a weird bug feature of SDL. So yeah, getting better at this now. I think that Camillo has also used my synth, so the sound being generated is the same, because this was also an entry for the Nokia Jam. But I would have to double check the source. It needs like a little a little thing to say, ah, you did it, well done, when you actually get the pixel size right. There we go. Fun. That's very nice. All of those were quite good, I thought. I mean, my own were terrible, but everyone else's entries were interesting. I'm glad that people felt like they could actually make something and tried, you know. It's a big deal. Maybe people will feel inspired to make something bigger in the future, or at least keep up with the engine and see what happens. Lots I still want to do with it, so I mean, like even today I put routine up with the web build engine as a test, so in theory you can play it in browser and it runs at a decent speed, so things are still developing. Yeah, that's been a good year. It's coming. This is work in progress, but I have all the tools for it done now, so the I can at least test it with my own games. But it's this doesn't work at all for larger stuff. I don't know why yet. Beta testing. Because yeah, I'm not sure what the problem is. But because this game is very simple, it runs without any issues. I could probably actually demonstrate how terrible it ends up being. Let's see. But I mean, in theory, anyone can take the index HTML and just put it with a game egg file, and it will just run on a server. It loads the game egg at runtime, so I need to set like a maximum size. I think that might be a good idea. But, oh, I've got this tab muted. There we go. So this is All Nighter. This is a game I'm currently building. This is how I can knock out a text wrapping algorithm real fast, because I did it twice. It's like that countdown is a lot slower than it should be already. But you basically are in a racing vehicle, and it's turn-based. This. And it keeps track of your number of moves and crashes up in the corner. So you basically can speed up, slow down, to steer correctly. My hope is to have eventually some opponent AI and a bit of story stuff going on. But at the moment, if you try again, there's now like a racing car ghost of you to race against. So you can try and best yourself. Well, yeah, this is the thing. I started this game for a Game Boy its cover jam last year, and one of the suggestions was a turn-based racing game. And I thought, what can I do with that? That's interesting. And I discovered that there's like a pen and paper version of this that kids can play. So I sort of adapted that for a hex grid. Bam. And here we are. So the idea is that you're meant to be like in an illegal anti-gravity street racing group. So you receive a text message of the next race, story stuff would happen in here, and then you go and do the race. And then, if you want, you can also make your own tracks. Because I've got a fairly decent editor in here. These hexagons are drawn with sprites, I think, mostly. There is some actual stuff for drawing them by lines, but it's really slow. It was a nightmare. I do not recommend doing hexagons in Dome in the future. But you can also do the click and drag to move the camera. And then you can change the tool, make those walls instead. And draw a finish line. That's this game. And then you can say like, oh, now the player starts over here, or over here, or over here, basically. And then we could go and play it, but I didn't save it, so no. I've been working on that now, I think it was 2 or 3 months. That's what I started streaming, so there's on my YouTube a lot of videos of me building up this game, because I streamed this twice a week for 2 or 3 months. I started end of August, most of September, most of October, a bit of November maybe. I ran out of steam towards the end, for various reasons, so I do want to come back to it because I'm actually really impressed by the concept. It's interesting enough that I feel like people would actually want to play it. I mean, it's available to download, so you can get it off my itch.io, and I'm going to push updates to it over time, hopefully, as I come up with a story and create more tracks. And it just about runs in the browser as well, that's nice. But it's definitely slower than it should be. Went from a pixel art phone to a point-and-click racing game and then a map editor. Well, the thing is, hexagons are hard, so And hexagons are hard, and there is no hex map editor that I know of that exists. So if you want to make hexagonal maps for levels, you have to build the editor yourself. So I did. Oh, that was a lot slower than it should have been. Look at that. Yeah, anyway. Please. Yep. So yeah, the web engine is coming together, but it's still not fast enough for all users. So I'm not ready to declare it official yet. But for simple stuff, I think it's fine. Yeah, so All Nighter is available over here. I've had some help with the music and the graphics, but proud of that. It's good stuff. What else? I suppose I've got a little bit of time. I could either stop. I don't know if anyone wants to carry on hanging out. I could do a bit of work on Dome itself. Still got a couple of... Oh, okay. Let me go have a look. Rockfall. Ooh, 29 minutes ago. No, that's about the same. Unless I just download the wrong file, maybe. I mean, we can always pry it open and have a look, right? So, it would be highly unlikely that something would work on Windows and not on Mac for Dome, because I work very hard to prevent that from happening. So, okay. Oh, how about we do this? You don't actually need to do these two every time you do a random number. Because, yeah, that's better. Okay. Maybe the random number generator is seeded differently on different operating systems. So that's something to look into. Is there different points for different sizes of circle? This is a lot harder now, though. Okay. That's quite terrifying. Okay. The fact that it moves you up as well, that's sneaky. You might want to change the color of the rock that you are, because it blends in with everything else that's moving. Oh, I see. But yeah, just hard to track where you are compared to everything else sometimes. But nice. But it's definitely more challenging though. You might want to maybe ramp up the number of things over time. I don't know. There's lots of ways you could play with it, which is cool. I mean, that's a good thing. Plenty of unexplored design space. What a struggle. Very cool. Nice. But yeah, you only need one random number generator for most of things in one game. You shouldn't really be generating a new random number generator every single time. But that is something I need to look into about why they behave differently on different platforms. Yeah, that happens too. I wouldn't mind playing it again in maybe a few more iterations, just when it's a bit more polished, but that's fine. So you might want different things to be seeded differently. So you could have like a master RNG and then use that to seed other RNG to do other things without advancing the state. Potentially. It depends on the game. You might not need it most of the time, but there is like world generation circumstances where you'd want more control over how regions of the game of the space are generated. So you might have like an XY randomness thing. The option is there anyway. But the point is that the random number generator has an internal state that changes every time that you generate a random number. So you need to keep that consistent. Otherwise, you can end up with the weirdness that we just saw. Ooh. Sorry, that was a long one. Oh. What I need is like a little table behind my laptop to put the Twitch chat on, rather than it being to my side, because then it looks like I'm being rude, like over here. Problem is, I feel like I'm talking to you because your text is over here. So, what else is going on? I had to point out something about this one. This is my branch for the web build. Yes, I saw that. I need to have a quick review of it just to make sure that I'm happy with it. I'm pretty meticulous, well, reasonably meticulous when it comes to the PRs that I accept, just because we need to be careful that we don't break things and that it hits my standards. So I'll get to it soon. Obviously, with DOMEJAM going on, I couldn't really process that many PRs at all, so I don't like leaving them too long. I think I want to probably sweep this deck of these ones and then take a bit of a break just to unwind my brain a bit. It's been a month and a half of pretty solid coding effort, so yeah. I'm sure that the style's not too bad, especially if you were paying attention to how the rest of the code base is done. And I'm always happy to point people in the right direction about things, so. But honestly, I am mostly just grateful that people want to contribute, so it's not so bad. No. Yes. No. Just spotted that one, that's bad. Window does not resize in web mode now because it's stupid when you do that. What's going on with these? Set path, get rid of that, please. I spotted a couple of bugs today, so I'd like to get those merged back in because it causes problems. that. So yeah, I'll probably clear through these in the next couple days, and then I'm probably going to take a bit of a break and then come back fresh in a few weeks. Because I think I need it. Just let people sort of simmer for a little while. So yeah, I think I'm going to stop streaming here and get ready for some sleep. It's been a long week. So thank you everyone for coming and hang out with me, play through some good stuff, had a nice conversation. I appreciate it. So. Stay safe out there in the big wide world. Good night. Have a good one.